Hello and welcome to Oracle Hour. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and I'm honored to channel spirit on your behalf. I'm here every Wednesday and Sunday. I love Sunday night's edition of Oracle Hour. We always have new members of our community joining, and I have such an important special topic in store for you tonight that I've been really kind of sitting with. It's been coming up in my sessions a lot. I've been seeing this reflected in a lot of my conversations. Tonight, we're going to talk about the spiritual art of receiving as a spiritual practice, which I'm very excited about. If you are new to this community and you want a live reading, a message from the spirit realm, a message from your guides, your loved ones, or anyone in universal intelligence, any type of information that might be useful for you at this time in your life, depending on whatever it is you're going through. You could be struggling in your relationships, you could be struggling with your finances, you could be struggling with your work situation, family, whatever the case is. There is no question that you cannot ask the oracle. If whether it's something from your past or present or future, please feel free to put your question in the chat and I will answer it on a first come, first serve basis. I have a trusted moderator here with me tonight. Her name is Lorraine. She's my dear friend and she'll be handling all of your questions. So go ahead if you already know that you have a question for me, if you've been waiting for this live or planning for it, or perhaps you're just catching us spontaneously, feel free to join us at YouTube, at Sabrina Rising. We're streaming live in 3 places. We're streaming also on LinkedIn and on Facebook. We are not streaming on Instagram tonight. They're having some trouble with the platforms. But if you are watching on either one of those 2 platforms, you can see me, but I can't see you. So come and join us on YouTube at Sabrina Rising and put your question in the chat so I can get to it when I do the live reading portion of our broadcast this evening. Okay, good. So again, any question is welcome. All questions are welcome. If you want to participate in the live mediumship demonstration that I have going on July 19th, Saturday, July 19th, and or you want to participate in the live psychic gallery reading, which is happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It is a Zoom environment where we see and interact with each other, and you can ask me questions and you'll have the opportunity to work with me one-on-one. You need to join the YouTube channel. So the link to join my YouTube channel is a link that Lorraine has, and she'll be posting it here at some point for you to click on it and join the link to join my become a member of my channel. If you join the 3rd level, the tier level 3, I believe it's called the Initiate. This is my inner oracle circle of community members. And this is where you get access to exclusive contents like the psychic gallery readings and the mediumship demonstrations and guided meditations and exclusive videos that I make specifically for my members. Okay, so we'll leave that link there for you to consider during the broadcast. In the meantime, tonight we're going to talk about the art of receiving. And what is receiving as a spiritual practice? So many of us are stuck in longing. Okay, and this is so important for everyone to just kind of like really consider, because think about the things that you deeply want in your life. Okay, we have no trouble identifying the things that we want. We have no trouble identifying what we're longing for, what we wish we had, what was, what we might consider better for us, or what we think might feel better for us at some point. And so we have no problems identifying those things. And yet we have so much trouble receiving them when they start to show up in intangible evidence. Okay, this is so important because I see this all the time. I teach manifestation. I talk to clients about manifesting. I've talked about it on the show and almost all of my videos on my YouTube channel. We talk about embodying the energy of that which we want to experience, feeling it, being present with it, holding the frequency of that which we deeply desire so that we can have it, we can receive it into our lives. And yet so many of us are either in disbelief that we can receive, we feel deeply unworthy of receiving, or when things start to show up, we start to second guess ourselves, our capacity to hold this receiving energy sustainably. We start to block our ability to receive because we're either afraid of being hurt or disappointed, or not being able to manage what it is that we're receiving. Notice if there's some part of you perhaps in your life when things start really working out, if you find yourself sabotaging the things that are working out, or if you find yourself sort of not blocking it somehow, or walking away from it, or perhaps losing momentum in the thing that it is that you so deeply desire. You find yourself second guessing or questioning or doubting the the thing that you so deeply desired for such a long time. So it's easy to want things, and it's easy to idealize our lives and to daydream about something better, and stay in the realm of wishful thinking. But embodying what it is that we truly desire requires also being willing to receive it. That means you allow it to happen in your life. You're willing to say yes when it shows up. Okay. How often, and I invite you to really think about this, especially as we're chatting about it in the broadcast tonight. And of course, these conversations always set the tone for the type of questions that will come through and the type of messages that will come through in the questions that are being answered tonight. So again, if you're new here, please stay for the whole broadcast, because even if I don't get to your question, chances are I will share something and interact with someone that will resonate for you. It'll be a message for you as well, and you'll learn from it, and it'll activate you in some capacity. So tonight we're really talking about receiving, and receiving affects every single one of us, because we want things, we want more, we want expansion, we want growth, we want to fulfill our purpose, we want to fulfill our potential, we want to feel deep inner fulfillment and inner peace. And so once we start receiving these things, they sort of go against the frequency of longing, right? If you've been in longing for a very long time, you're used to longing for something. You're used to suffering. You're used to struggling. You're used to not having your needs met or not having the thing that you want. This is what feels normal. So calibrating to an energy that says, I'm someone who gets what they want, is very different, right? We have to make that shift internally in order to be able to receive and to allow. There's little ways in which you can sort of identify if you're blocking receiving the thing that the very thing that you want in your life. For example, notice how you are when someone gives you a compliment, right? Notice how, and was true for me for many years, where I'd be like, oh, like, oh, thanks. Like there's something about the intensity of receiving, either being celebrated or being acknowledged or being flattered, or, having beauty being pointed out, that feels like too much, right? It just feels like, okay, there's only so much I can handle. I'm used to a certain frequency of feeling a certain way about myself. And so when that is up leveled somehow by either someone's reflection or by whatever it is I'm manifesting or the things that I'm calling into my life, I start to get uncomfortable, right? Because this is not a match for the energy that I'm holding, from what I'm used to. If you've been living a certain way, especially for an extended period of time, you've created a sort of comfort zone. Even in your suffering, even in your longing, even in your lack, starts to feel comfortable. It starts to feel habitual, usual. This is the normal that you're used to operating in. So now when we want to expand, and we're being very intentional about our desire to expand, to call in more, to receive, to have more, and to feel more, we have to be willing to say yes to what shows up, and to be willing to accept what's being offered. Notice how you are when someone perhaps offers to either open the door for you, or carry your groceries, or perhaps when someone offers to help you in some way. Maybe someone is offering to lend you money, or someone says, hey, I can take care of this for you. Notice your automatic response to the opportunity to receive something that you might really need in that moment. And if there is even a little part of you that rejects what's being offered, that declines or feels uncomfortable with what's being offered, there is a contraction there. And that contraction is something you're holding in your subconscious, you're holding it in your frequency, and it's the very thing that is blocking you from receiving that which you deeply desire, because your longing is comfortable and it's habitual, and it's something you've been stuck in for a very, very, very long time. For so many of us, we listen to these videos, we watch, we do personal development work, we read about other people's success, we compare ourselves to other people, we think, I would really love to have that. I would really love to have more of this in my life. And so all I'm doing is amplifying the longing. I'm amplifying longing, but I'm still telling myself that that's not for me. It's not my current reality. What I want to be doing is shifting my belief system and saying, hey, I can have this right now. I give myself permission to receive that which I deeply desire. And I start by saying yes to the little things that start to show up in my environment, whether it's a compliment or an offer to help, or, like I said, someone holding the door for me, or just little things like that. I say, yes, please. Yes, please. and thank you, right? Thank you for offering. Thank you. Yes, I receive. So this is something that I would love for you to practice in your everyday life, in the small things, because this will help expand your capacity to receive. It'll help expand your awareness, and it will uplift your energy and keep you open to creating more and receiving more and having more. And the more we develop this muscle, the easier it gets, the more comfortable it gets, the more we're able to shift our overall frequency. Okay, for now, we're just kind of practicing receiving more, saying yes more, and accepting more. Notice those moments of being uncomfortable, right? This is the key to this work, is when I'm uncomfortable in the moment, not when I'm sitting and doing the guided meditation. When I'm sitting by myself quietly doing a guided meditation, I can feel myself receiving, I can visualize it, I can practice it, because I'm in a process. Where it counts the most is in everyday life, when you're interacting with other humans, when you're out in the world, not intentionally focusing your energy. That's when your unconscious mind is really running the show. It's directing your thoughts, your behaviors, your reactions, all of your spontaneous moments. That's what's in charge, is your subconscious programming. So notice in those moments of live interaction, when you're uncomfortable or you have trouble receiving, that's what's there, and that's what's blocking you, and that's what you want to bring awareness to, right? In those moments of reaction, in those moments of feeling uncomfortable, that's when you want to pause, take a deep breath, and say, oh, actually, yes, thank you. Or yes, I receive that. Or I receive it fully. These are good affirmations to practice in those moments when you are receiving, so that you can expand your capacity, you can raise your frequency, and you can have and start to invite in more of what you really, really want. Okay. It doesn't matter if you have a small desire or a huge desire. The degree to which you're capable of receiving, you can only practice that on a moment to moment basis, right? We can't all of a sudden be open to receiving so much more than we can possibly imagine. It's a muscle we develop on an ongoing basis in your daily practice of learning to say yes and allowing that to expand naturally and organically. That's how it's going to feel accessible, and that's how it's going to feel sustainable for you in your life as you practice receiving. Okay. And as I said in the beginning, receiving is a spiritual practice. Envision yourself saying yes to your very nature, saying yes to God, saying yes to universal intelligence, saying yes to your ancestors, your guides in the spirit realm that want to bring a message to you, that want to help you, that want to support you in having the life not only that you want, but the life that's going to help the evolution of your soul and your soul's purpose, which is ultimately why we're here. Okay, so start to practice receiving and see it as part of your spiritual practice, saying yes to the things that feel good, yes to help, yes to assistance, yes to being acknowledged. Just try those little things and watch what happens in your life. Okay, and come back and leave me a comment on this video and let me know if this has been helpful for you. All right, beautiful. Okay, so let's jump into questions tonight. Good night, everybody. Oh my goodness. We've got a lot of people here live. Shiloh's here. Miss Jules is here. Maria's here. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Jenna. It's good to see you all. All right, question number 1. Here we go, Shiloh. Shiloh says, hi, Sabrina. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding. Thank you very much. Abundant blessings. You're going to be a stunning bride. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Shiloh. That means a lot to me. Shiloh says, are my angel guides, spirit guides, and ancestor guides have any messages for me? Okay, so let's see what I have for you tonight. I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. So Shiloh, I know that we've been channeling for you on a semi-regular basis here. And I know that I know intimately about some of the things that you are currently trying to call in. And the message tonight for you really is a lot of it came through in the introductory call around receiving, our introductory conversation around receiving. And so I really want you to pay attention to that and your capacity to receive, and really kind of sit down and look at how long you've been in the state of longing and wanting more, but not getting it, and wanting more and not getting it, and how that's created a certain way of operating, okay, that has felt habitual. Regardless of the fact that it's painful, it's still what you know, okay? And so the message for you tonight is to let go of what you know. Let go of what you know. And this can look like expanding your horizons. It can look like a physical move. It can look like letting go of loved ones. there's something around family as well. And it feels like you're traveling a distance to talk about either talk about property or talk about moving or talk about where you're living and so on. But there is a move coming if you allow it. If you allow yourself to be in a state of non-resistance, there's kind of a relocation, which is really a kind of starting fresh for you. And that's what feels really accurate at this time as I'm channeling for you. Feels like your loved ones know your heart. Your the ones in spirit, in the spirit realm, know your heart. They know your intention. They know you want to help, and they know that your love is accessible to your family members, especially the ones that you're not in communication with at this time. Okay, so I want to tell you that you're off the hook. You've done enough. You've given enough, and you've really shown up to cultivate this life in what you thought would be the right place for you to be. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be reconnecting with grandkids, or you're not going to be reconnecting with your loved ones. You will. I know that that's a deep desire for you. Okay. It's just a matter of doing it on your terms and doing it from a place that is also supporting you. Okay. Part of the message that's coming through as well for you, Shiloh, is that you've been giving and overextending and overcompensating for a really long time. So the spirit wants you now to take a step back and go, okay, what's working for me and what's not working for me? And it's going to require a move. It's going to require a deeper sense of letting go, not just of your logistics or your attachments, but also of this idea of what you thought your life was going to look like. I'm in, Shell says, off the hook now, freeing. What do you mean property? Okay, good. Yeah, so you're off the hook. You can let go, and this will open up the realm of infinite possibilities for you. It could be a move, like moving to a different property, moving to a different location. There's something about either discussing where you're going to be living or where you're going to be going to next. Okay. And it's a relocation, and it looks like it's a property in question. I don't know if it means ownership. It could just mean renting, or it could just mean talking with other families about property that is in the family. Okay. So that's as clear as it gets. But I want you to stay open. Okay. Part of the purpose of a psychic reading or a live intuitive reading is that for you to gain insight and gain intuition and gain even momentum, energetic momentum, the hope I can be on a different trajectory, or there's just some things that are going on that I don't necessarily have access to, and that boost in your energy that you receive when you're getting a reading, that's the momentum that I want you to cultivate, right? So letting go and letting go of loved ones, letting go of the life that you've created, and staying open to the realm of infinite possibilities, and continuing to put yourself first and to honor your own needs first, because that's the path that's going to illuminate the one that brings you to fulfillment and to deep inner peace. Okay. So again, it looks like there's a conversation with family members, and it looks like it's overdue, or something about property in question. And I would just leave it open. It feels like you're interacting with a male as well. So I will leave that there for now. That's not for months down the road, but this idea of you moving and opening up your horizons and maybe taking on something that is out of your immediate environment is what's imminent. And these are the steps you need to take. Spirit wants you to put you first. And as soon as you do that, you're going to shift out of longing and into having this right now, right here, right now, because this is the work that needs to be done. Okay, that's my message for you tonight, Shiloh. Thank you for joining me. Beautiful. Okay, who's next? Hi, Miss Jules. Miss Jules says, hi, Sabrina. I got back Monday, took mom to ER Tuesday. They did a colonoscopy and discovered a mass. Waiting on results from biopsy. She's still in hospital. What do you see around this? Thank you. Okay. So, Miss Jules, I'm not a medical professional, and I can't give a medical diagnosis on this broadcast or in a live reading or even in a private session. So I remember saying to you at some point when you went away that there would be something going on with mom, but she would be okay. She would be okay until you got back. And it feels like this is what came through. I can't say exactly, what if this is life-threatening or not. It feels like, it feels like this is the beginning of a series of tests, and it feels like this is the beginning of a series of deeper concerns. Okay. And I don't say this to alarm you. This is something, Miss Jules, that you need to prepare yourself for, that your mom is aging and that you've been taking care of her and that she has failing health. And so, there is, again, the message of letting go, right? And so this is coming through for you as well, like really just letting go of, trying to preserve life. I know this is difficult to hear, especially when we care about our loved ones, our aging parents, our family members, even our pets, right? Like when we care so much, we want to hold on, we want to preserve life. And yet we suffer when we don't allow for the natural, organic unfolding of something. Okay. And this is so important for you, is to just trust that she's in good hands. I feel like she's receiving good care. I can tell you that. I feel like she's in the best possible care. And I feel like she will, she's going to be okay. She's going to recover from this particular diagnosis. And there are more to come. Okay. So my advice for you, and what spirit wants you to know, is that, this is kind of the trajectory that you're on with her. And the way to deal with it and to be at peace with it is to trust that, her health is unfolding the way it needs to, and that there's nothing you can do to stop it or to preserve it or to hold on. But for you to find peace in what's happening and to trust that you've provided love and care and support to the best of your capacity. Okay. And I know that you really need to feel that as a daughter, which is why I'm saying that to you. And I hope it lands right in your heart. You've really gone above and beyond to care for your mom. And she knows that, even if she's not able to articulate that to you, she knows it on a soul level. Okay. And that's my message for you tonight. All right. Good. Thank you for coming. All right. Hi, Jenna. Jenna says, hi, Sabrina. My grandson, Anton, may be diagnosed with, I think you mean ADHD, and possibly behavior issues. Any messages on his diagnosis and treatment is appreciated. Okay. Everybody wants me to exercise my medical intuition muscle tonight. All right. So here's what I want to say. First of all, I have trouble with this diagnosis, and I'll tell you why. Because I really feel like, in general, and then I'll speak directly to your about your grandson. Yeah. Here's what I want to say about diagnosis. So a diagnosis happens when behavior doesn't meet a certain criteria, when behavior doesn't match a certain preconceived notion of what that behavior is supposed to be like, based on societal norms, based on, what we've established as normal. And I feel like your grandson, first of all, there's several factors going on here. Number one, I want to say sugar is a factor. Okay. So any refined sugar, processed sugar, or any of that stuff, he's allergic to. So, and this is, I think ADHD in the brains of children, or sugar in the brains of children, can be seen as ADHD. Okay. This is my personal opinion and something I practice as a parent as well. So I would watch that for your grandson. I would also say that he's not in the ideal learning environment for his creativity. This is a super creative kid who needs to be involved in different things at the same time, simultaneously. So I don't see this as, I feel sad when I hear these diagnoses and I hear that children are being sort of put in a mainstream way of learning and operating, when that's not where they're meant to thrive. Okay. So my guidance around this is to approach this in a more holistic way, and to sort of speak with Anton's parents and see if they're willing to entertain a more progressive learning environment, and perhaps dealing with some unresolved issues. I feel like there is this child is very sensitive, and he carries a lot of anger. So there's some deeper listening and holding space for this child that's required for him to process his emotions. And it'd be really good if he had mom and dad around to support him for this. For some reason, I feel like Jenna, for some reason, I feel like that is essential to this conversation with Anton. So I would gather the family around, even if mom and dad are no longer together. I would try to gather the family around and see if there's a possibility of creating a more supportive, more nurturing, more holistic approach to what the symptoms that Anton is exhibiting. I don't believe it's medical in nature. And but you're also talking to a holistic psychic medium spiritual mentor, and this is what I would apply to my children as well. I feel like there when there are physical symptoms, it's always the root of those physical symptoms are always due to unresolved emotions. Okay, and this is so important. She says, you may recall his dad passed away this year. Mom is doing a great job under the circumstances. I actually don't recall that, but I'm glad you told me, because that makes sense. That makes sense that dad is not around. So, yeah, that actually illuminates things. Okay, so I think that maybe talking to his dad or connecting him to the energy of his dad or even processing the grief around dad will help Anton, and because he's got some anger and some repressed emotions around it. Now that makes more sense. So really holding space for him to communicate with his father, perhaps hearing about his father, being able to talk about his dad is going to help him tremendously. Okay. I would hate to see Anton kind of fall into the system of doing things of medical diagnosis and prescriptions and things like that. I would much rather see him be on a trajectory where he can tune into his emotions, resolve his feelings, with the right support and the right guidance, and start to use some of that creative energy that he has. Okay, so this is my message for him, and for you to support him as his grandparent, and to support mom as well. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Jenna. I appreciate you asking the question, and all my best and all my love to Anton. Good. Hi, Maria. Maria says, I discovered Philip had a nude woman on his phone. I'm a brunette. He told me, interesting. Okay. Do you have a question for me about it? I told him he got 2 weeks to get out of my apartment. Okay. So if we break up forever, I will meet someone new. How is he like? Okay. So here's what I think we talked about this the last time you were here, Maria. So we talked about your relationship and how it was imminent, that you should take a break from this person because it was highly toxic and it was volatile and it was unstable and that you were not getting your needs met and it was ultimately unsafe for you. Okay, we talked about this dynamic in your relationship. And so I really just want you to focus on healing your own relationship patterns and the type of people that you attract into your life. Okay. Of course, you're going to meet someone new. It's inevitable. Like, you will meet someone new, but you don't just want to meet a person. You want to meet the right person. You don't just want to be in any relationship. You want to be in a relationship that's going to meet your needs, feel supportive, and feel like it's meeting you at that point of love and respect. And that's only going to happen when you start respecting yourself, when you start showing your self-respect by doing real inner work, by holding space for yourself, by processing your trauma, by learning to meet yourself with compassion and non-judgment, by finding the support that you need so that you can show up responsibly in your relationship choices and pick somebody who is going to feel safe, who's going to feel supportive, who's going to feel nurturing, who's going to meet you at that point of self-love. We cannot find love in relationship. This is a fantasy, and it is not a recipe for sustainable happiness. Okay, we can only find love within ourselves. All right, this is what I want you to focus on, and this is for you, Maria, and it's for anybody watching, whether you're watching live or the replay. Find love within yourself. Fall in love with you first. Fall in love with your looks. Fall in love with your position. Fall in love with your gifts, your talents, your flaws, your imperfections. Learn how to love yourself radically and unconditionally, first and foremost, and then you will attract someone who will meet you there. This is the recipe for finding loving partnership, sustainable partnership. This is what has worked for me in my life, and it's what I would recommend to anyone, including you. So don't focus on who's doing what, and these toxic relationships are a reflection of the toxicity that you're still holding on to, and it's not your fault. You had a traumatic childhood. You grew up in a traumatic environment, and you don't have good support or good guidance in your life, or at least you haven't had it up until now. That's allowing you to sort of take a hard look at yourself and go, I co-created this situation. I co-created this toxic relationship that I'm in, and now I'm willing to step out of it because I deserve something better for myself. Go back and watch the beginning of this video and listen to my chat about receiving, about coming out of this trap of longing, which feels comfortable and normal because it's what you're used to, and actually being in a place to receive that which you deeply desire. You can only do that if you create worthiness. Worthiness is innate, but you need to wake up to it and wake up and realize that it's there. Okay. And that's going to take some inner work on your part. Please do that first before going into the next relationship, where you're just going to be dating the same guy in different bodies over and over and over again until you learn this lesson. Okay. So I'm trying to save your time, Maria, in what I'm sharing with you. And I hope this resonates for you. And I hope it lands with all the love and compassion in the world. Okay. Thank you for stopping by and asking. Beautiful. Next question. Hi, Jess. Jess says, hi, Sabrina. I would love to know what's in store for me in my career. I am looking for a change. Okay. Find your passion. I see that. Let's see what's in store for you. Okay. I also feel there's a lot of creative energy here for you, like artistic energy, even like, it feels like there is something that you want to create, like almost like an entrepreneurial spirit, creative. Is something that you've been sort of contemplating for some time, and I think that there is like sort of this a fear of like stepping out on your own, or stepping out into being in creative mode, stepping out into doing something that's kind of outside of this way of operating. Again, goes back to receiving we talked about earlier. This always happens. The talk I give at the beginning answers all the questions. Think about your ability to receive and how much you've been wanting something else, and for how long that's been going on for, and really asking yourself quite honestly, do I want the things that I say that I want? Do I truly want them? Am I able to say yes to them? This is what's up for you, Jess, because I feel like there are opportunities there. You just need to step into them and take them. There is a creative shift that's coming. And the other thing I want to say too about your career is that there's going to be a change whether you want it or not, because there's something about your work situation that is changing. It's actually shifting. So either the company is changing or the environment's changing, but there's a change is imminent, and I don't feel like you're being fired, but I do feel like there is an opportunity where you're just like, oh, this is inevitable. This change for me to move on feels inevitable, and it feels like a gradual, organic unfolding of what I've been calling in. Now it's just a matter of whether or not you're going to say yes to it. Okay. And I do feel like you have these creative abilities, these talents. And if you want to verify any of this, that would be wonderful. So I can keep channeling for you. But I want you to let this sort of sit with your creative gifts and what you're fully utilizing, and check and see where you're putting your energy. Start to put your energy more on your own abilities, working for yourself, being creative, and something magical is going to come from this. Okay. Where you are now, either the position or the opportunity is going to cease to exist in the not so distant future. So a change is inevitable for you, but it's going to be a good thing. So I want you to embrace it with enthusiasm and with a deep knowing that you have called this in. Your higher self is always manifesting the thing that you deeply desire. Now it's just a matter of, am I in a place to receive it? Am I calibrated? Am I aware? Am I in alignment? Do I have the courage to say yes to the thing that I deeply desire and trust that this is exactly where I'm meant to be? Okay. And this message is directly for you, Jess, and for anybody else who's out there kind of wanting more and feeling like they want to create more, have more, be more, do more. Are you in a place to fully receive that? Okay. And can you say yes when it shows up? So this is the question I want you to sit with, because it's right there and you have the creative ability and the entrepreneurial skills to move forward. You just need to take that leap. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Jess. Beautiful. Okay, who's next? Hi, Miley. Nice to see you here. Miley says, Sabrina, my son declined 50% offer from a new pre-accredited Meritus. Is this a dentist school, DO school? 2 miles from Jugridden, Hagerstown. Will he get a better offer? When will he start medical school? Okay. I don't know what some of these words mean, but I think the question is, when will he get something better? Will he get a better offer? When will he start medical school? I see. Okay, so he's applied for a school and he declined it, and now he wants to go into a better environment. Okay, so let me see what I have here. It's very important. Just give me, without giving me so much detail. And it's funny because some of you give me no details, but just give me like the bottom line of what it is that you're looking for, and then I can channel more accurately. So here's what I want to say in terms of the guidance that's coming through. I want to say that there's one or two, feels like two more offers on the table. Feels like there's two other offers coming, and it feels like it's within a 3 to 6 month range. And yeah, I want to say to your son to hold out for something, because something better is coming. It's probably not the next offer, but the second one afterwards. So it feels like there is yeah. Again, this is it's medical school, but it's a different branch of medicine. So it's something he may have not even considered yet. It's something that he has to kind of step back, reconsider, and go, where do I really want to be? And then something shows up, and that's the place where he ends up. As far as when he will start medical school, I mean, at this point, I want to say next year, next January. So it feels like 2026. But in the meantime, it looks like there's two different places, two different application processes that he's going to go through. And it's the second one that feels most viable. Number two is what stands out. And also the second other branch of medicine is what comes through in this question, in terms of answering the question. So it's something he really wants, and he's really passionate about it. I love that he's holding higher standards for himself. This is very important, especially as we practice receiving what we deeply desire. We don't just say yes to anything. We say yes to that which aligns with what we deeply desire. So I appreciate you asking this question, because it prompts me to share that in this moment for those that are practicing receiving, that have been watching tonight, listening to the live broadcast or watching the replay. We say yes to that which feels so deeply aligned, right? And you'll feel that in your body. Okay. He applied MD and DO. Okay, so I think that means doctorate and dentist, correct? As a physician or as a dentist, and correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like what is Jess saying? Okay, well, maybe you can put that up after, Lori. Doctor of orthopedic. Gotcha. So yeah, okay, so whichever is the second one, the number two process of application is the one that's going to come through, and it's actually further away from where he's living now, further away from where he thought he might be working and living. And again, this is a 3 to 6 month process, and it doesn't look like it's going to be happening for him until 2026. So the application can get stretched out over a few months, or the application process, or the figuring out exactly where he needs to be. There's something that's going to open up. It's an opportunity that's not there yet, but there's something that's going to open up that will be there for him in the second application process. Okay. And that's my message for you tonight. Yeah. And if you need more clarification, you have to give me more clarification if you want more specifics about how this is going to unfold. But yeah, I don't know if it's orthopedic. I actually think it might be a different branch of medicine. It feels like he's changing trajectory, and it's something that's going to take him further away from where he thought he was going to be. And it's a good thing. Okay. So it's never rejection. It's always redirection. Just keep that in mind for you and for your son, that it's still in the medical field, and for him to still hold on to his dream and to not give up on his dream, and to hold that standard for where he wants to be and work and live, and how he wants to share his gift, his passion for helping others, and just allow for him to change his specialty, because there is something else there that it feels like it's a better fit for him. Okay. All right, good. You're welcome. Beautiful. What is Jess saying here? Jess says, thank you, Sabrina. I appreciate it. I've been thinking about working for myself. Good. Thank you for validating. That's wonderful. Yeah, come back and let me know how that unfolds for you, because this is it's not going to leave you until you follow through on it. And that's what happens when we get inspired and we start to feel that creative flow, and we start to get ideas, like it starts to open up. And the more you allow yourself to entertain it, the more it will take on a life of its own. Okay. And that's the trajectory that you're on. All right. Beautiful. Good. Hi, Joe Daisy. Nice to see you. Joe Daisy says, I've been experiencing stuckness and the need for an energetic push of confidence to help me complete important tasks I've been putting off. My guides, might my guides be communicating a message I'm missing? Okay, let me see here. Okay, let me just sit with the energy of your question. Experiencing stuckness and the need for an energetic push of confidence. Okay, here's what I want to say to you, Joe Daisy, and this is, of course, for everybody. Sometimes what we interpret as human beings as procrastination, and this, of course, is the inner critic. It's that part of us, it's that early childhood conditioning that says, hey, you're not doing it fast enough, or you're not moving quick enough, or you're not doing it at the pace that is considered appropriate or acceptable. But sometimes procrastination is your higher self's way of stopping you from engaging in things that are inauthentic for you. And I feel like there's some of that going on here for you, Joe Daisy. Like you're pushing yourself to do things that you don't really have the energy for. When I tune into your energy, Joe Daisy, I feel like you're in pain. I really feel like you're in a ton of emotional pain, and you've got some grieving to do and integrating to do. And I want to give you different advice. I want to tell you to rest and take it easy and journal and take care of yourself and breathe and, practice energetic hygiene, like healthy eating, healthy drinking, living, sleeping, all that stuff, so that you can get clear and feel well inside. Okay. When you push yourself to perform and to produce and to output, when there's such a need for restorative energy, for healing, and for feeling good about yourself, and for tending to your deeper emotional needs, it's kind of, it's you're being really hard on yourself. This is the antithesis of self-honoring and self-nurturing. Okay. So my message for you tonight from Spirit is what feels very clear is, Joe Daisy, for you to like pause and reset and take care of yourself, but really take care of yourself. I almost feel like you don't know what to do with yourself if you're not doing something. Okay. Like you feel guilty if you're not moving, or you feel, and this is not an uncommon thing. Like you feel like you're almost not worthy of rest, or not worthy of taking downtime, or not worthy of just kind of, focusing on you and putting you first. I want you to do that. That's going to boost your self-confidence more so than being productive or producing something or creating something. Okay. What's going to boost your self-confidence is you being able to trust yourself to meet your deeper needs, to meet your need for rest, for tending to those emotional wounds. Like there's pain here, and there's grieving to do, and there's longing. We're talking about longing. We're talking about longing the whole show. like really tuning into that sense of longing for something better, perhaps the presence of someone, deep connection, relationship. So this is, again, I invite, Spirit wants you to focus on relationship with self, to fill your own cup, to meet your own needs, to tend to your own wounds. And from there, that will boost your self-esteem. And then you'll have the energy, it'll feel aligned and organic, and you'll move into a state of, oh, I'm in an authentic place. Now I can do things, right? And that's what I talked about before. When your higher self is sort of stopping you from engaging in things that are inauthentic, it's not what you need right now. You don't have the energy to move forward because you need your energy to do other things for yourself, for your heart, which is supremely important than anything you can accomplish in the material realm. Okay, that's my message for you, Joe Daisy. This is what you're missing. Okay. Important tasks. This is the most important task. If you tend to your inner self, you'll have the energy and the motivation to do these other things. You just have to do those things first. So reverse the order. It's kind of like, let me complete my task and then I'll have time for me. I want you to reverse the order, and then you'll see how much more energy you have to complete your tasks. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Joe Daisy. Good. All right. Patty says, Patty looks like she's helping Miley, doctor of osteopathic medicine. Okay, good. Thanks for your help, Patty. Patty says, how can I know who my angel guides and spirit guides are? Are they family members? Are guardian angels in this category as well? Thank you. I love this question. Okay, this is a fun question to answer. So your angel guides are, or spirit guides are ancestors. They are your family members. It can be a family member that you've had a connection with, but not necessarily. Usually our ancestors are always our spirit guides, whether we know them or not, because we're in a sort of soul tribe with them. We're potting with them from throughout the lifetimes of our soul. And so they usually are our spirit guides, ancestors, family members. As far as angels, they are also in this category. But again, angels is something you may have a connection with or you may not have a connection with. Again, this is due to past life experience, karma, things you've studied in a previous life, things you've felt connected to in a previous life. It really depends on what your inclination is. The best way to gauge that is to see what comes up for you when you're meditating. So, I teach a class on how to connect with your spirit guides, and you can take some deep diaphragmatic breaths and put yourself in a meditative state, create some inner stillness, and ask your guides to come forward and introduce themselves to you. This is the fastest way to meet your guides. Of course, I'll do some channeling for you because I'm assuming that's why you asked the question. So I'll see if I can point someone out. But I want to empower you with the tools so that you know how to tune in and listen and hear and welcome and receive for yourself, because you may have more guides than what I'm able to channel for you in a few minutes over YouTube. So I want you to really practice just meditating, getting still, creating that inner stillness, taking some deep diaphragmatic breaths, and feeling the presence of these guides, allowing them to come forward. Okay. Yes, it's not just family members. It's also guardian angels. It's also animals, pets. It can be animals in the animal kingdom. It can be a pet that you've had in your personal life. So let's tune in to Patty Peterson's energy and see what I'm channeling for you. I said animals, and the first thing I saw was a cat as soon as I closed my eyes and tuned into your energy. So there's a cat, and it actually feels like lynx energy, which is, I want you to look that up, because lynx is, we can have, cats in our lives or be drawn to cats because we have link medicine or link energy that we're working with. And the lynx is the keeper of secrets, and it's the keeper of wisdom, and it feels like this is a medicine that you're working with, or so, at least it's something that wants to come through for you in this reading that I'm giving you. So I want you to look up cats and their significance, especially the lynx, okay, and see if that connects for you. Let me see who else you might have. I hear the name Michael, and it can be a family member. It can be someone who is in your family or someone who's a friend. But there is the name Michael as well that comes through as a spirit guide. And I'll leave you to connect the dots to see, because we're not interacting. And so unless you want to validate here some of these messages, I'll leave you to connect the dots, kind of sit with it. The name Michael is what I hear. So look at cats, look at Lynx medicine, and look at the name Michael. That's what I'm hearing for you. And sit with that and see what comes through, and do the meditation practice as I'm guiding you. Get quiet, create inner stillness, invite your spirit guides to come forward and ask them to introduce themselves to you. And don't judge what you hear. And this is part of what I do when I'm channeling, is I don't judge it. I just convey the message. So just start by accepting whatever images, sounds, names, figures, whatever hints you're getting, start to accept those as part of the guidance that you're receiving from your guides. There's no wrong way to do this, okay? So come back and let me know how that unfolds for you. And if any of the guides that I mentioned resonate for you, you can come back and leave a comment at the end of this video. Okay, Patty? Thanks for joining us tonight. Good. Joe Daisy. What else is Joe Daisy saying? Lorraine, let's stick with one reading at a time here. Thank you. Here we go. Joe Daisy says, I do long for connection. Seems I have since losing a twin brother at birth. I greeted you before my question in case you missed it, by the way. Oh, hi, Joe Daisy. I did miss it. I'm not in charge of the questions, but thank you so much. I accept your greeting, and I'm always happy to see you here. Seems I have, yeah. So your twin brother, so losing him at birth would create something, and I want to address this, so I'm glad that we went back. Losing a twin brother will create a disconnection. You'll feel that longing. You're going to feel it energetically throughout the course of your life. And so my advice to you would be to try to connect with him through mediumship. You can join our mediumship circle, or you can come and connect with me in mediumship one-on-one. My advice would be to connect with him through mediumship, so that you can connect to his energy and connect to that sense of longing, and really learn to fill your own cup by receiving messages from him, receiving support, and experiencing that everlasting love. Just because our loved ones are not with us in physical form doesn't mean the love ends, right? The love continues. It just changes form, obviously. So, you can connect to that experience of love. And this is what's needed for you, Joe Daisy, especially as you're healing and you're tending to those inner wounds, is the ability, the tools to really fill your own cup and to connect with something bigger than you, to have a spiritual practice, to have a connection to something, to universal intelligence, or to a higher power, or to whatever synonym resonates for you. And that will allow you to feel the presence of your brother, to understand why you made it and he did not, to understand the karma there. There's deeper lessons here for you, okay? And there's some there's a sense of incompletion that you feel, and this makes sense, right? That you lost your twin brother because there's a sense of like being incomplete without relationship, or needing relationship to feel complete. And your part of your karma is to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to be complete without relationship, how to find completion within yourself, so that you can create relationships that will meet you there. Okay, that's what I want to say about that. And Daisy says, and thank you so much, Sabrina. You're welcome. Okay, thank you for stopping by and allowing me to channel for you. It's always an honor, and I hope that was helpful. Okay, good. All right, who is next? Let me see here. I think I lost my moderator. Okay, there we go. Hi, Rhea. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. Hi. Hi, Sabrina. I just want to say hello. I've been following you the last couple of years as I found my way back to spirituality. So happy for all you've done for so many people. This is so sweet. Thank you so much for saying hi. Oh my goodness, what an honor and a pleasure to have you here. I'm so glad this content resonates for you. And I am very happy to hear that you're on a spiritual path. This path myself personally has opened up so many doors, so many opportunities to heal and to find inner peace and inner freedom. And I wish the same for you. And I hope that this broadcast is helpful. If you ever have a question, or you would like me to channel a message from spirit on your behalf, I'd be happy to. Okay. I'm sending you all my love. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Patty says, wow, thank you. I'm a huge animal lover. Oh, good. Okay. My cat Heidi passed several months ago. There you go. I'm not familiar with Michael yet. I'm going to schedule a private session with you in the coming weeks. Okay, good. Beautiful. I'd love to have you in a private session. So Heidi is probably the cat I saw as soon as I closed my eyes. So she's around you. And so you can lean into her and tune into her and feel her presence. She's there to remind you of unconditional love. She's also there to remind you of taking time for yourself, and she's also there to remind you that that you did everything you could for her. Okay, so this is really important for you to know. She wants you to know that, and yeah. And so I would love to see you in a private session so we can go deeper. Michael could be Archangel Michael, could be also feels like could be an uncle or a family friend, someone who was around in your childhood. So sit with that and come back and let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in a one-on-one. Okay. There's a link to book a reading with me. We're actually doing a special now. I think it's $150 for 30 minutes, mediumship or psychic reading. So we'll post that link at the end, and you can just follow that and come and join me there. Okay. I look forward to seeing you there. Rhea says, thank you. We'll chat. Beautiful. I'm looking forward to it. And Lori, are you back? Lori is back. Okay. Emily says, I think you skipped my question. Okay. Emily says, I'm a holistic spinal awakening health. I am in a holistic spinal awakening health workshop. That sounds fascinating, Emily. For a year. Am I in the right place with this workshop? Okay. This is interesting, the energy I feel around this question. Let me just sit with it for a minute. I'm just going to say it. And so oftentimes I reserve from giving like such very specific directives. I reserve, hold back a little bit because I want you to I want to give you the freedom to choose. But I actually feel like you belong more in medical intuition. And I feel like you're obviously drawn to health and holistic healing and so on. But there's something about the energy around the spine that's more spinal awakening. Yeah, this the first thing it comes through when I close my eyes and tune into your energy is medical intuition. And it would be good for you to also practice some kundalini yoga, because the rising of the kundalini energy will give you a lot of insight into the spine and the energy that we hold there, and how we can awaken that higher our abilities, awaken access to our higher self, to universal intelligence through the practice of awakening your kundalini. I want to send you more into that direction of holistic healing and health, and medical intuition really comes through very clear. This is something that I feel like you have a natural inclination for, is understanding what's happening energetically on a physical level, on an organ level, physiological level, and being able to offer that intuitive guidance so that people know how to heal themselves, physically. So this is very specific, Emily. The message is coming through for you, and I hope this resonates. Something to look into. I think that's part of the reason why you're not sure if you're in the right place, because it feels like what you're doing is either very technical or limited in the scope in which you can offer guidance and help and offer holistic advice, which is what you're here to do. This is very clear. Okay. Emily says the spinal awakening is more of a physical healing process. Would you suggest I go to the intuition? Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm suggesting for you. That's what I'm saying. It feels limited. It feels like it's more technical, medical diagnosis, that kind of thing. It's too scientific for you. The intuitive medical intuition that's your path. It's very specific. Usually, as I said, I like to give open-ended, sort of general, broad strokes guidance, especially when it comes to career and self-expression, because it can morph into something. It just, the energy is this, right? So but this is very specific. Medical intuition is more what I would guide you towards. I think you'll find it much more fulfilling, and you'll be able to use all of your gifts. Okay. You're feeling limited because you can't use all of your gifts in the workshop that you're in. Okay. And that doesn't mean it's not a good workshop. I think it's a good beginning. It's good to have this foundational knowledge, but it can't be all of it, right? So you got to, from here, the departure, my next path would be doing more medical intuitive work. Okay. And there's something about the Kundalini yoga that's going to connect you to your ability to channel higher states of consciousness and use your intuition, not just for to heal your own body. It feels like you need to, kind of focus in on your own spine first. This is not a career. It's for me to heal. I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I want to say about that. I think your healing journey is going to turn into your vocation, which is not uncommon. I mean, that's certainly what happened for me. I think it's something that the healing, the Kundalini yoga for you, and going to see a medical intuitive, let's start with that. And this will turn into something that you might want to share with other people if you choose to do so. I think that's very, very clear in terms of the message that's coming through for you. So that's what's available. I do believe the intuitive work is going to help you get to the root of what's happening for you on a spinal level, which is why I said it feels like you have to heal your own spine first. This is the process that's coming through, is you dealing with your own health through holistic intuitive modalities. And then you're going to find your way of sharing that with other people, which is exciting, So yes, that's my message for you. And I hope that's helpful. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here tonight, for being here with me. Thank you for all the wonderful questions that we received. It's my honor to channel for you and to offer messages and to offer guidance. If you didn't get your question answered, feel free to join me. I'm here every Wednesday and Sunday, except for this coming week. I'm getting married, so I will not be online. I will not be on Oracle Hour for this coming Wednesday and Sunday. I'm taking 2 nights off, which I have never done since the beginning of this broadcast. So I will miss you. Emily says, thank you so much for all the time you give us. Oh, it's my pleasure. I love being here with you. And it's going to be hard to be away. Joe Daisy says, much love, Sabrina. Good to see you and congrats. Thank you so much. It's good to see you too. So if you have any questions, or if you have any questions about the guidance you received, or if you're still stuck and it wasn't clear and so on, please always feel free to leave a comment at the end of the video. I love to respond to comments and clarify things if I can. Also, feel free to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. For those of you who want regular psychic readings, regular psychic connections, who want the opportunity to work with me one-on-one, if you want to attend a regular mediumship circle, if you have loved ones in the spirit realm, or you just want to receive messages from your spirit guides and you want to get to know who they are, then I encourage you to join my YouTube channel. There is the 3rd tier membership. It is the initiate. You become part of the Inner Oracle community, and in this community, you have access to these classes for free as part of being a member. And there's the link to join. Thank you so much, Lorraine. You get access to all of this content and some guided meditations as well, some things to help you open up your own practice and bring your own gifts online. Okay. And for those of you that want to attend my live psychic gallery reading, if you're not a YouTube member, you can simply pay for the session. You can come and join me live tomorrow night, Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. The link for that is right here. This is the Flowdesk checkout link for those of you that want to join. It's a live psychic gallery event where I host a Zoom class and we can all see each other. We can all interact. I will do a reading for the collective. So I'll be channeling messages that come through for everybody. And then you'll have an opportunity to work with me one-on-one and ask me questions about your life. And we can have a conversation. And it's obviously much deeper guidance than this format. So that's the link to register for that class. I will see you tomorrow night. If you are so inclined, it'd be my honor to have you there. Otherwise, I will see you not this Wednesday or Sunday, but the following 3rd week in July. And in the meantime, we'll be trying to post some evergreen content just to keep the momentum going and to offer guidance on your spiritual journey, personal development journey. Rhonda says, thank you for sharing your gifts and congratulations. Thank you so much. I really, really deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the love. And I look forward to seeing you when I get back. All my love.